Hey movie junkies, welcome back to Twin Flicks, where we always are celebrating magic movies and physical media with you. Now today kicks off the first of my Kino Lorber, I'm going to say series, because I have more than a handful of Kino Lorber 4K releases, 4K titles, that I'm going to be comparing to the previous release Blu-rays, and some of them you got to see for yourself. It is just incredible, the improvements and detail and color accuracy that this 4K now carries compared to the previous Blu-ray. Today though, we're talking about Kino Lorber's 4K UHD presentation of 1955's classic The Ladykillers. And previously, Studio Canal released this Blu-ray, I believe about 10 years ago or so, and this was from a 2K transfer, which honestly looked great at the time until I compared it to the new 4K release. Now, Studio Canal has restored The Ladykillers in a new 4K restoration from the original 35mm negative with HDR10 and Dolby Vision grading, and also the accurately displayed aspect ratio of 1:6:6:1, where the Blu-ray had the wrong framed ratio of 1:3:3:1. Alright guys, well let's take a closer look at Kino Lorber's 4K UHD presentation against Studio Canal's previous Blu-ray release and see if this 4K is really worth the upgrade. Now before we dive into the color production, I just have to talk about one area I was very curious about with this film, because honestly I've never seen any transfer or format that has handled this scene right. Not even the previous Studio Canal Blu-ray did. And that's this scene right here. It's about 57-58 minutes into the film, where the policeman comes knocking at the door. And obviously he's in front of a green screen or blue screen, whatever they used, and the matte lines on the Blu-ray are just very noticeable. It's very gross looking. Clearly you can tell that the actor is not really standing outside the door in London, but on a soundstage. The 4K finally at long last fixes this problem. Look at the 4K compared to the Blu-ray. The 4K with the improved black levels definitely helps here, but it's also the improved image quality that helps. You can now barely make out the matte lines, where you can now believe that he's actually standing outside the doorway in London. The black levels look exceptional here. The Blu-ray had numerous problems in this department, with really bright blacks in the corners of the frame that sometimes spread outward into the middle of the frame, while other areas has a lot of crushing out of details. It was just a mess. Once again, the 4K transfer comes to the rescue, giving us those very natural, deep, inky, truer blacks and a lot stronger shadows. Night scenes here are a major improvement here. It's a night and day difference between the 4K and the Blu-ray disc. Just take a look at these scenes here. The differences between the two formats. It's very easy to see the 4K handles the black levels with pinpoint accuracy, where evening and nighttime scenes look actually like they're shot at night or in the evening, where on the Blu-ray it looks like it was shot during the day. When it wasn't supposed to be, it's supposed to be at night. So the 4K now handles these scenes appropriately with how they're supposed to look. For instance, take a look at this scene. Look at the shadows behind the character in the phone booth. The Blu-ray, they are bright and very weak, where it affects the red color. The 4K with the darker shadows appears deeper, highlighting a deeper maroon phone booth. And this is just where the black levels and shadows really elevates the film. It draws out much more information and colors that was sorely lacking on the Blu-ray. But now let's get into the color reproduction. I mean, right from the opening credits, the colors just flourish with all the pastel pinks, purples, lavenders. All these colors on the Blu-ray with the opening title cards look faded. It's not very active. It just looks lifeless. Now we have very active, bold, and truer colors from start to finish. And the Ladykillers already carries an unconventional color palette, which is something you would come to expect from a 1950s 3-strip Technicolor film. The Blu-ray did handle this pretty well until this 4K transfer, where the colors are displayed much more accurately now, while also maintaining its original appearance. Even down to the money, you can clearly distinguish now on the 4K the green and red color bills. On the Blu-ray, again, it's blown out and it's also faded where you couldn't. Primary colors are outstanding, from rich, vibrant red, electric yellows, deeper, bold, and cooler blues. Primaries now actually look more faithful to its color design and much more lifelike now. And the HDR10 Dolby Vision handles all of this with a lot of ease. The entire color palette has more depth and range to it now that really pops off the screen. Saturation is dialed in just right here. That really helps giving the film more warmth and life, especially with skin tones looking natural and warmer. Contrast is also handled perfectly here. That really helps with daylight scenes, looking much more naturally and balanced out bright. And the contrast also really helps with all the nighttime and darkly lit scenes as well. Now we're going to take a look at the image quality. The finer details and texturals honestly just look immaculate. The film has been cleaned up from any unwanted anomalies such as debris, specks, some yellow splotches or lines that were from the negative just sitting in storage. And Studio can now clean this up very nicely. But they also made a good decision by keeping in all the inherited baked-in anomalies from the negative. And the image looks razor sharp and clear as it can be, with more finer lines, and I didn't notice any kind of artificial or AI sharpening done. Finer details from facial features, revealing facial lines, imperfections. Miss Wilforce's rosy makeup looks better. Also, the interiors of the different rooms in the houses. It's littered with different details and textures, from patterns of wallpaper to different objects in the room, down to the birds that she keeps. We can clearly make out the feathers and even the detail of the beak. It's honestly extraordinary to see for a 68-year-old film. It's just all there, really showcasing the production design and also the cinematography, filling the 1:6:6:1 frame, and it just looks outstanding. I could go on and on and on about this, but you get the point. The bit rate starts out high in the high 70s, and I saw it top out at 110 Mbps. Grain is also fully intact here. Ladykillers has a very natural, fine layer of 35mm grain field, giving a terrific filmic appearance. Alright guys, so my score for Kino Lorber's 4K UHD presentation of the Ladykillers for video and audio, I'm giving this one an overall 5 out of 5. Other studios out there need to take this as an example of how to preserve and faithfully reproduce a 70-year-old film. But now head over to the comment section and let me know, when you look at the differences between the two formats here, the Blu-ray and the 4K, which do you think looks better? Or do you see much difference at all? Head over to the comment section and let me know. Alright guys, well thanks so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes here as we talk about the Ladykillers on 4K UHD from Kino Lorber. It is available now to buy wherever you pick your physical media up from, or head over to Kino Lorber and support this boutique company and pick it up there. As always guys, thanks for watching, keep physical media alive, and stay tuned for another 4K versus Blu-ray comparison.